All right, welcome back and thank you for staying with us on KUTV Primetime News. Now, the electoral body IEBC today held a meeting for the presidential aspirants at the Bomas of Kenya, and this unraveled a lot in the state house race ahead of the August general elections. Andrew Sunkuli presented the signatures of the voters backing the presidential bid of the Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka. That's the center role of the controversy, and the Wiper Party leader members, as the Wiper members rather, are now urging the boss to work with the Azimio La Umoja Presidential candidate. The huge number of independent candidates, will they run the race till the end? An independent candidate, Nazlin Umar, has claimed that IEBC wants to rig the election. Will the woes be given a listening ear? Joining me for the discussion is Keffa Omori, who is a political analyst and an MP Aspirant in Bobasi constituency, and of course Reuben Bosire, who is also a presidential running mate for Jared Nzano. Thanks so much, gentlemen, for dedicating your time for this discussion.
Thank you.
Right, now today, starting this discussion, the IEBC, the electoral body, held a discussion, of course, with the presidential candidates. And of course, in this meeting, we saw a number of presidential aspirants in this meeting, of course, presenting the requirements, the signatures that the IEBC, the electoral body, wanted. So, as a running mate of presidential aspirants, this big number of independent candidates, what do you feel? Will they really run this race till the end?
Oh, thank you very much, my brother. One thing I want to say is it has been a very hard thing to do. IEBC is a body that is mandated to work for the Kenyans.
Right.
When you look at how guys have come up with this emotional passion to run for presidency, it is because of the downfalls of the current government.
Right.
Now, I might not be able to speak on behalf of the rest of the aspirants, but one thing I know is the body that is mandated to run these affairs, it is in a way prepared to frustrate a good number of independent candidates, to be precise. So all these requirements, and that is why you saw a lot of commotions in that hall. People were feeling so much aggrieved because of those punitive regulations that were provided by the IEBC. Yes, a good number will have to go through the test and go to the ballot, but the main point is the country and the body that is mandated, which is IEBC, should look at this as a challenge that should be another thing they should be thinking going forward. Because one of the questions that we were asking the chair today was, what new thing has he learned all through the way that he can do differently, that cannot bring the same repercussions that we saw the other time? So yes, the huge number has come because all of us, including the young people like me, myself, and my president, and so many other young people that we were there, they are feeling like our country is going for the dogs, so we should come. And we are considering this whole thing of provision of ID copies and all those things.
So maybe, Mr. Bosire, what do you probably insinuate is that for the independent candidates, should the electoral body consider, lowering the standards of the requirements that are set?
That was our feeling. Although they are saying they are working within the framework of law.
Yes, of the constitution. Because ideally, the difference is only that, you're running as an independent candidate, and this other candidate is running for the same seat as a party, presented by a party.
Okay, our feeling was, and if the chair was to listen to us and maybe act to whatever thing that we were arguing of, we were feeling like, why today? Why this 2022? Why should we be having a requirement that is pushing me to go to the village to look for IDs from Mamambogas and all those people? Nilete, then I present to them. Why not 2017? We had a contest of BBI last year, 2 years back. We didn't see that thing. You see, so we are feeling like this thing is pushing us to the wall so that we cannot make to that end that we wish we should. Yeah.
Right. Right. Now, but you see, again, but we won't measure much on this, but, you know, the top seat is like a job. And when a job is announced, of course, it will attract candidates. But then there should be, you know, a strategy to get rid of others, so just to find the best candidate. Probably that's what is going on, but I don't want to judge for what the electoral body is doing. Now, away from that, Mr. Keffa, I don't know, because still on this meeting, we saw the independent presidential candidate, that is Nazlin Umar, was saying that, you know, the requirements of mostly of the IDs is a plan for the IEBC to rig elections for ODM leader Raila Odinga. I don't know whether my director, you can play for me that video of that lady, the presidential aspirant, Nazlin Umar.
IEBC wants to rig the election. That's why they're asking independent candidates to assist them in an illicit rigging machinery for Raila Odinga by forcing us to submit with our supporters' names photocopies of ID cards, which is a violation of privacy of people holding ID cards. And in my petition to IEBC, I'd raised all these issues. They've not responded. I'm actually moving to court with a petition, and I'm putting in as interested party the national. There's a Bureau of Protection of Data. Right. So they are going to be coming in as well. Not only that, IEBC is also using this photocopies of IDs to lift names with the names system and literally stuffed pre-stuffed ballot boxes in favor of Raila Odinga, who's a state project. Now, another issue I've raised is that we want Raila Odinga to be stopped from the general election, to be barred. Why? He has allowed himself to use the president's office, to use the president as his chief campaigner. These are public facts.
But the president is not campaigning.
The president is campaigning. The president is campaigning. The entire cabinet, all the civil society, all the civic servants, all the civil servants, all the public servants have been, and Uhuru Kenyatta is in public saying he is going to be the chief campaign of.
Mr. Omori Keffa, you've heard what Nazlin Umar, the concern that she was having. She was saying that, you know, the requirement by IEBC to, you know, for the candidates to present IDs, copies of IDs for the supporters is a plan to rig elections for ODM leader Raila Odinga. What do you make of this?
Thank you very much for the opportunity. I think Nazlin is an equally qualified candidate for the presidency of this country. And having listened to her, she's actually contesting against the commission because from her claims, she has petitioned the commission not once or twice, and the commission hadn't given her the audience that she wants. So I think the commission needs to show us and give us a playground on the presidential candidates, including the independent ones. So the chairman, Chebukati, and his team, they have a duty. They have a duty to show Kenyans that this election is going to be free and fair, even though they are working on the framework, on the boundaries of the constitution that allows them to give us the regulations and the rules and the requirements of a presidential candidate. And of course, the presidency is not just an ordinary seat. According to the constitution, they have put some regulations that will bar jokers not to get into that process.
Right.
And of course, the commission is trying to limit the number of aspirants. From my look, so that they reduce the number, because the number, as we talk, we are about 55 aspirants.
For the presidency.
Yes, I heard the chairman talk about how the ballot paper is going to look like.
Yeah, sure, because you know, with 55 candidates on the ballot, you have to, you know, you are opening pages looking for the candidate you want to vote.
Yes. So we are trying to read some as common or as an ordinary Kenyan, maybe some people may read some mischief from the commission, but from where I sit, I think the commission is trying their best to work on the timeline, at the same time to work on the constitution and deliver what they are supposed to deliver before 9th of August. Yes.
Right, now away from that, for the established, maybe let's get this conversation to the political parties, the presidential candidates who are in the political parties. And Mr. Bosire, this question probably will best fit you, because we have seen with the Kenya Kwanza, taking Kenya Kwanza as an example, just a day or two ago, we had the running mate for the Kenya Kwanza, that is Rigathi Gachagua, saying that he will want 50% of the government, that probably if they clinch the power, the top seat, they will want 50% of the government. And in this Kenya Kwanza government, it is the same government that has promised, the duo from the western region, 30% of that government when they clinch office. Of course, that is conditional to when they deliver 70% of this vote. And this only leaves 20% for probably the president himself. So the question that we're asking ourselves now that you're a presidential candidate, the leaders who want this top seat, why is it that their interest is so much on the level of government or the size of the government that they want, the stake that they have in that government, than what that's what should be most importantly, which is the needs of the people?
One, I think our other guys, our competitors from Kenya Kwanza, they are unrealistic. Because when you listen, all the stories that they are giving Kenyans, if you calculate, they are not adding up. It is just recently that we saw the deputy president, the current deputy president, saying he'll give Mudavadi and Honorable Tangula, was it 30%?
30% of the government.
So that remains 70%. And other communities or other players in his team. Here comes a deputy president in waiting, Honorable Rigathi, who has categorically said he wants 50. So if you do 50 plus 30, that is 80. So Ruto remains with 20. What happens is we are reading greed in the minds of these guys that are running for presidency. All through, what has inspired most of us, including myself, to run for presidency is one thing. It is because I've just realized that both of those who are looking for this seat, they have realized that Kenya that we are seated in right now, it has very pathological liars as lead politicians. That is why when you say, I'm going to give you 30, the other one is remaining with 50, and I'm the president. Even if you tell a class 6 pupil about that thing, and I'm the one who is carrying the presidency, it does not apply. So one thing from Kenya Kwanza, it is a mixture of lies and lies and lies that cannot add up. Secondly, or thirdly, one thing that we look at, these guys, they are saying that they are not interested in positions, they are interested in Kenyans. But in the real sense, if you look at it keenly, there is nothing like they are interested in Kenya, they are interested in this position. That is why now we are expecting them to fight going forward, because there is no agreement. And I know, Honorable Ruto, that thing you are calling that even 30% to the West, it will not apply. I've seen today our friend Honorable who is this Mudavadi say he will deliver 90%.
Not the 70, yes.
Yeah, it is easier said than done.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, still on that, probably what I'd really wish to know, because you're saying that these other pacts, that is other presidential candidates, are interested in, they're interested in positions and not in Kenyans. Now that you're a running mate to a presidential candidate, what is the guarantee that you are not interested in, you're not interested in power, you're not interested in these positions, but you're interested by the plight of Kenyans?
One thing, the thing that gives you the power or what propels you to a position whereby you are interested in Kenya is that power. Now, this is an interesting thing that I never knew before. For you to get people from where they are, or like, for example, we are in a position whereby every Kenyan is being cornered or screwed. You realize that even if I keep quiet still, the problem begs me to act. So we cannot as well say that we are not interested in power. That is a lie. There is no way you can help Kenyans without power, and the power is given, and that is why we are here. So with me, I'm not saying I'm not interested in that power, but now, how clear is it that when you get this power, how are you going to make sure that every Kenyan is happy that now whoever that is in that power is feeling your shoes that you are wearing? Because we do walk around town, up country, and we realize that people actually are acting, and what is happening is poor governance. So the only thing with power and good governance, that is when every Kenyan will feel like there's something going on with our country and our government. Right. So that that lie with Honorable Ruto should be one thing that Kenya should consider unfit of him run for president or take power.
All right.
Yes.
Now, Omori, I don't know what you feel, because, you know, looking at the oomph and the confidence in which Honorable Musalia Mudavadi was speaking when he said that he's going to deliver 90% and not even the 70% that the condition that they were given for them to receive the 30% of the government. You know, he was saying with a lot of confidence. Are you really seeing what's the possibility of him and the other, you know, the leader, that is Moses Wetangula, delivering this 70%, the 90% rather?
Let us be realistic here. Honestly, looking at the demographics and the political setup of the current environment, of course, it gives Musalia Mudavadi and Wetangula an upper hand because they are Western leaders to deliver. But according to me, still the Azimio presidential candidate has some weight when it comes to Western and Nyanza politics, and that is a fact. But for Mudavadi to continue enjoying the warmth in Kenya Kwanza, he has to massage his presidential candidate by telling Kenyans that yes, I have the capacity to deliver more than what you want. Right. But in a real sense, Western voters haven't accepted entirely Kenya Kwanza. That we have a good number or a good percentage of voters who are still in Azimio, and of course a parcel of sub-voters, a parcel of Western region are in Kenya Kwanza. So for Mudavadi to claim that he's able to deliver 90% is a gamble. Yes.
Right. Now, away from that probably, and Mr. Bosire, I'd wish that, you know, as a politician, of course, you are a running mate to a presidential candidate. And we've seen, let us now discuss a fellow politician, of course, that is Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka, who, you know, sometimes back he said that he will be the most foolish person in the world if he supports the ODM leader Raila Odinga. And not so long, he went there on, you know, he was on record saying that kwa mara ya tatu nasema Odinga tosha, and then in no time again he is out of the Azimio, is going to rally for the presidential seat, and then now we are also seeing the party members urging him to come and work with the ODM leader Raila Odinga. So what does this really, you know, what picture does this you know, send to the electorate, to the citizens at large? You know, because I'm tempted to think that you know, the politicians at times you mislead the public, because now the supporters, which side should they believe with how their leader is, you know, is here, is not on here, is getting again on the other side? What do you think?
Okay, I was young when Kalonzo was named Watermelon. By that time I was in high school, I think. I didn't understand that until so recently. Honorable Kalonzo is a good guy, but he displays a very dangerous character to an African man. I was brought up in a society whereby a man, you decide once and you do that which you decided. So when you read along the line, you get today he has said, I'll be the most foolish. And it happens that he has said, Mara ya tatu, I am saying Raila Tosha. So I cannot say he is foolish, but his words haunt him. Secondly, all these things that happened on, was it on 16th or 15th of this month?
Yes.
Yeah, at KICC. And the subsequent press and whatever thing that he had at SKM Center, those were just but a PR thing. Kalonzo is a man who knows that he was not to be the DP for Raila. He knows that he's not going to run as president. He knows that is whatever thing that is having or any position that is having in Azimio, it is this.
But when you say that he knows very well that he's not going to run for presidency, but you know, IEBC has not isolated him in any way because he has so far met all the requirements that are required for a presidential candidate.
Yes. Kalonzo, all these things he's doing is managing his electorates and his errand boys. Of which today those guys said we are recommending for a party leader to go back to Azimio. I said this, I had a conversation with guys on Saturday and I told them, wait and see. Kalonzo will be in Azimio, whether you like it or not. So one thing he's trying to do is to mix the minds of the people he represents. Of which I pity them because at the end of the day, they'll not understand what is going on. So the character with the Kalonzo, going forward, it will be very dangerous of him to stand before Kenyans telling them we want to be president, because we do not want a president who does not understand himself. If you say, I'm buying this phone, I'll buy that. And that is one thing that we expect you to do. So if he tells us today, I'm running, I'm not running, I'm doing this, I'm not doing, that is very dangerous of him. So for the electorates, I'm very sorry for Kalonzo. We are learning, we are young, and I don't want any young politician to follow the roots of Honorable Kalonzo.
Right. Now, still on that, you know, Omori, whatever Mr. Bosire, the potential, you know, deputy president, of course, because the deputy president, whatever he's saying, that, you know, at times, like politicians like Kalonzo Musyoka, he would say this and then he's not doing what he said, and then you come and say this is probably not going to do what he said. Now, as politicians, as individually as politicians, because all of you are now politicians, in these campaign periods, you are promising candidates, you are promising rather electorates a lot of you know, good things when in case they get to elect you and you clinch these offices. And now my question is for you, probably, Mr. Omori, you are running as an MP in Bobasi constituency. I want to know some of the heavenly promises that you are having for your people and the practicality of these promises, because many times people will come making promises and they in fact make promises that are not even practical. I want to hear from you.
Thank you very much. My name is Keffa Omori. I'm an aspiring member of Parliament, Bobasi constituency. In fact, one of the youngest aspirants. One thing I've observed over time by some of our politicians is promising and deliverable. Telling people what cannot be practically done. I, as Keffa Omori, I've been doing my research on what can I come and do for my people. Number one, I have seen there is a gap of leadership. We have brought in politics into leadership for so long. And this is a time whereby as young people we need to bring leadership into politics.
Right.
And that's where I come in. My advocacy for young people to get into leadership still remains, because I am representing young leaders who are emerging. We need leadership in this country. Looking at our National Assembly is full of politicians. That is why things are going berserk. I want to promise my people 3 things that are even confined in our constitution. Number 1, I'm looking for this position to represent my people in the National Assembly. Number 2, I'm looking for this position to oversee the development and the resources of the national government given to my constituents. I'm looking for this position to go and legislate. Now, these are the things that our politicians don't articulate to our people to understand the roles of a member of parliament.
Right.
I don't want to go and start telling my people, I'm coming to build roads for you.
Hospitals.
I'm coming to build hospitals for you. But what I want to promise my people, I want to come and serve my people.
Right.
Having the resources at hand, and at the same time, I am coming with the capacity to lobby and even source for more resources that can enable me to serve my people to the level of my best.
Right. Now, just a quick one, Mr. Of course, the Deputy President in waiting. We have Article 97 and 98 of the Constitutions that gives rights to recall. We've never seen this happening in the country. Should it be empowered much for it to happen? Because politicians will promise this, and they are not delivering. Just in about a minute, what should be done?
I think 2010 we got the constitution, the new constitution, which it is very progressive, as it said. One thing, our country has a problem with application of law. They apply law selectively. Article 97 and 98 expels everything how it's supposed to be done. If you promise something and you are not able to deliver, you are to be recalled.
Right.
So going forward, we are looking for a society whereby we follow the law to the letter.
Right.
Yes.
Just that. All right. Because of time, I request that we take just a very short break. We shall be coming back with another. We still have much for you. So just keep it right here with us. We shall, of course, have this conversation later on in the coming days. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for coming.